Yo, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys had a great Christmas and a great New Year. And as you can see from the title, I'm going to be telling you guys my top 5 favorite reads from 2023. Now in November of this year will be my second year of collecting manga. And if you're anything like me, have you ever guys looked at your collection and realized you have all the popular stuff that everybody knows about and you want to dive way deeper into manga? Well, that leads us right to my New Year resolution, which is to buy very unpopular manga. So in my future hauls, you're going to see a lot of not well-known series, but I hope I find some good ones so I can recommend them to you guys. Now, before we get into my favorite reads, make sure you comment down below what your favorite reads from 2023 was, and make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Now let me show you my top 5 favorite reads from 2023. Okay, at number 5 we have A Silent Voice. This was a very heart-wrenching series, but it's so good I had to reread it at least 5 times this year. But everything about this series is so well written, the art is really good, and the ending didn't feel rushed because it's only 7 volumes, so I was expecting it to be a very rushed ending, but how the story concluded and the story itself was just so fantastic. And the movie adaptation to this is really good as well. I had to watch that right after I finished the series. But if you want a great series that's very emotional and will pull out your heartstrings, I definitely recommend either watching this or reading this. But yeah, at number 5 we have A Silent Voice. Okay, coming out at number 4 we have Naruto. Now I started out with the anime and watched the pre-time skip anime, and then got so sick of the fillers, I decided to read Shippuden. And this is the series I've read down to most about. I've learned all the hand signs for jutsus, I've learned a bunch of jutsus and memorized them, but I do want to collect the first box set sometime to complete my collection. Plus, that's my second favorite box set from Naruto. The third one is probably my least favorite because it has the war arc. And the second box is definitely my favorite because it does have the Sasuke and Itachi arc, the Pain Invasion arc, the Akatsuki Suppression arc, and the Kazekaze Retrieval arc. But yeah, we have Naruto at number 4, one of my all-time favorite series, and this was such an enjoyable watch and read through. Okay, coming in at number 3, we have Bakuman. This series is just so good, and I wish people talked about this series way more. When the anime was coming out, it was actually pretty popular, but now a lot of people have forgotten about this series, so I wish this series would get a lot more recognition because it deserves it. But this series has my number 1 favorite characters in all of anime and manga. Tsugumi Oba and Takeshi Obata really made a masterpiece manga with Bakuman. In fact, this is, to me, on the same level as Death Note. I enjoyed this so much. Plus, this series is very inspirational because it actually got me into drawing, and I've been practicing drawing because of this series. I feel bad for not putting this at number 2, but the series I did put at number 2, you'll understand why it's not at number 3. But yeah, if you haven't checked out Bakuman, I highly recommend it because it does have a box set, and this series is just phenomenal. And my top 3 favorite characters from this series is definitely Hattori, Nizuma, and Fukuda. Fukuda is my favorite character from this series. But the characters, the friendships, the story, the romance, it's truly amazing. And make sure you check this series out if you haven't already. But there we have Bakuman taking the 3rd spot on this list. Okay, taking the number 2 spot, we got the tremendous series that is Vinland Saga. And oh my god, this series is just getting better and better. Now Bakuman was gonna take the 2nd place because I did enjoy that read more. But, I mean, the story of Vinland Saga, the art, everything about this beats Bakuman. Because I'm way more into gruesome, action-packed manga like this. If you haven't checked this series out, do yourself a favor and either get the manga or watch the anime. Because the anime, I really like too. It's a little weird how they put together the anime from the manga. But, I mean, what is there not to like about Vinland Saga? The fights. Oh my god, the fights are amazing, the characters, the story, the artwork is so good, it's so realistic, and the nature in it, it looks so good. And they actually just released a deluxe edition of Vinland Saga, which personally I don't think is needed because the hardcovers are as deluxe as they should get. But the deluxe editions are like twice as big as these. Plus, it's going to be probably way thicker than this because it's going to come with a bunch of extras inside. Like, it's going to have a map, which is cool, but it's just going to make the reading experience way harder. And they're charging $50 retail for each individual volume, and you can get these around $16 to $18 on Crunchyroll or Amazon. Plus, to me, these look so much nicer because the deluxe editions, I'm pretty sure, are just brown volumes. They look all the same. These are really colorful on the shelf. They have great artwork on the front. So, if you're going to get into the series in the manga, I highly recommend getting these. It's so much cheaper and will look way better on the shelf. But yeah, we got Vinland Saga taking the number 2 spot. Okay, we finally made it to my number 1 favorite read of 2023. And my favorite read of this year was the peak fiction that is One Piece. I've read the first 2 box sets this year, and what happened was this. I read the first box set when I got it, and I enjoyed it, highly. But then I took a long break from reading One Piece. I didn't start the second box set, and I took a couple months off from One Piece. And I wanted to start it up again. I just got back into it. So I was going to start the second box set. But I was looking back on the first box set and I was flipping through it and I didn't really remember much of it. And I didn't feel like I enjoyed it enough because, One Piece is one of the highest rating manga and anime of all time. So I really wanted to enjoy it. So I decided I wanted to reread it, the first box set, before I started the second. So I can enjoy it more and pay attention to this little stuff. And I'm so happy that I did that because I forgot a lot of stuff that happened, but most importantly, I enjoyed it 1,000 times better than the first read. Especially the Alabasta arc. I don't want to talk too much about the arcs because I am going to start releasing shorts about me ranking every single One Piece arc. I'm probably going to rank 2 arcs every single week, so stay tuned for those. But let me just say, the second time I read the Alabasta arc, I absolutely loved that arc. So I was ready to start the second box set. And so I read up until the Water 7 arc, and I was reading the Water 7 arc, and personally, I really liked the series, but I think it was a little bit overrated. Like, for being the number 1 manga and anime of all time right now, it was quite overrated in my opinion. Now, when it comes to One Piece, that's not a bad thing, because personally, I think One Piece was on the same level as Naruto, which I absolutely love that series. So I didn't dislike it at all, but I thought it was a little bit overrated. And then I finished the Water 7 arc and started the Enies Lobby arc. And I quickly realized that One Piece was not overrated in the slightest, because I read all, how many volumes? They're all 5 volumes in the Enies Lobby arc, and I finished all 5 of them in 1 day. 1 day, because, I'm gonna say this, the Enies Lobby arc is the greatest thing I have ever seen in my entire life. And that includes manga, anime, movies, TV shows. The Enies Lobby arc, I have never enjoyed something more in my life than that arc right there. And it's only 5 volumes. 5 volumes has taken over all of the other series I've ever seen or watched. And that includes Attack on Titan. Because I just started watching Attack on Titan a couple weeks ago, and I'm almost done with the 2nd season, and I just gotta say, Attack on Titan is peak fiction. But just in 5 volumes of One Piece, it took over Attack on Titan. It made me cry harder than I've ever cried before. It had the most epic scenes, epic battles that I have ever seen in my entire life. So yes, I'm gonna say it, One Piece is peak fiction, and personally, the greatest told story in the history of fiction. But come on, the backstory of Nico Robin, I cried really hard on that, and the ending to Enies Lobby, oh my god, I have literal teardrop stains in that volume. It was the saddest thing I had ever seen. I'm not gonna say it for anybody that hasn't read or watched it yet, but if you know, you know. So yes, the epitome of 2023 was reading the best fiction ever produced. So yes, One Piece takes my number 1 spot in 2023. Okay, that wraps up my top 5 favorite reads from 2023, and sorry that I rambled on about One Piece for so long, but I couldn't help it. But if you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video. It helps me out a bunch if you do. So thank you so much for watching, and enjoy 2024.